So here's the engine, and the odometer says 49,000, and looking at the brake pedal and some of the other stuff, I think that's what it would be, because this body's in really good condition and I don't think it's been driven that much, but we'll probably end up doing a compression test if I get it running. But the reason it was parked was a new radiator, and figured I'd show this before. I'm just going to do a quick clean. I like to do these assessments and make sure I just wipe everything. Usually do it my what I call artisanal, but right now everything's looking pretty good. So here's after I did some artisanal cleaning. I just did it with a couple of bottles, some air, and just blew everything out. It kind of cleans it to where you can find any wiring that's been burnt. Or so right now, speaking of wiring, I think this thing hasn't been molested. These are I think these are just ground wires, but there's the air cleaner, which looks brand new, so that goes in there. And then see if I can do this one-handed. That sort of turkey looking thing goes like right here. And oh, it actually worked. So right there is the air intake underneath that fender. So battery's good, and what's great is it's got still the original battery holder and the turbo. Okay, so there's the airbox, and then this goes into the turbo right there, and then into the intake. And I'm assuming that's fuel injection there. I think that's a fuel line. And then the back side, so that's the oil dipstick there, and it does have oil. And the distributor right down there. But it looks like, yeah, I'll have to figure out what this, oh, that's not a, that's like a vacuum line, so that's original. I thought maybe that was part of that wiring over by the battery, but washer bottle. And then forgot what this booster is with the ball on it. I don't know a lot about any of this stuff, so, but everything looks like that turns. Power steering. Oh, that's also power steering. So there's power steering pump, and there's the power steering, and then the water pump. I'm assuming that's the water pump. That all turns. So there you go. And then the other thing, I think it does have 49,000 miles on it, because it just doesn't have a lot of corrosion, and this stuff just doesn't stay intact, like right there. That's just so cool. So it just flicks over, it shows all the tune-up information, and then there was a number right there, 10730. And a lot of times you lose this stuff, so those look good. Man, this got a lot of fuses. I'm used to stuff from the 60s and 70s. And all right, so there's the engine all semi-clean. Spark. Well, I came on the first problem, and luckily this is why I take such a big inventory of everything and look in every cubby hole, is that this is a 1919. This one, nothing. I thought it was a smaller one, but it's this one right here. That's what goes on there. So it's a security lock, so nobody steals your rims. But you lose this, and you can't take your wheels off. So that's when the tires were purchased in 2013, but they were listed as used merchandise. They're studded snow tires. But if we look at the date code, it's a 3-digit date code, which I looked it up, that's pre-2000. So those are old tires, but they're good enough for what I'm doing. And then looking at the brakes, everything looks really good. There's pedal pressure, and this side turns okie dokie, and then everything's just super clean up there. So brake pads are look really good to me. And then same over here. You can see it's been setting a long time. And the brake pads look really good. They're almost at 100% from what I see, but I'm not a brake guy. And then this side, once again, nothing hammered, nothing too bad. Yeah, so the brakes are in very good condition. So here's the rear, and everything looks super clean. And it's got pretty big drums. And the only issue I can see is right now there's a hole right there, which is a nothing deal. And take a quick look at the suspension. It's got independent rear suspension. The CV joints look good. The bearings seem good on the wheels. Got those rear springs. Cool. And then there's the muffler. Looks like the original muffler. Be the other thing to check to make sure what the mileage is. There's the passenger side. And then same thing here. Everything looks really clean. Looks like original shocks. All the plastic's intact. So that's one area right there that is always prone to rust, and that looks really good. And there's a little grease there, but that's probably normal. And then, yeah, I think that's semi-normal there, that grease on that rubber. And no cracks, no big rust. Oh, and then right there, there's which is not a big deal. So looks like it's taken a couple of hits there. So overall, looks really good. That's dry. Everything's intact, so it's looking good.